Are you on a content binge trying to learn how to use Pinterest as a total beginner? Well, if that's you and you want to learn how to use Pinterest and you're brand new to this platform, then this video is for you. Pinterest for total beginners. This is where we're starting today. I get this question a lot, and it's always framed like, if there was 3 to 5 things that you could tell me to do as a total beginner, where would I start? And it's always in like, I only have like a minute to respond. So today we are not gonna do through the fire hose, like Pinterest for beginners through the fire hose. We're just gonna go Pinterest for beginners. These are the steps that you need to take as a total beginner in order to get started and set yourself up for success. So what do you say? If that's what you're here for, let's dive right on in. So I recently gutted and rebuilt 2 entire profiles, and this really brought me back down to earth when it came to creating the foundations of a really good Pinterest profile. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I did for those 2 profiles today. Now, both of those accounts were existing on Pinterest. They just didn't utilize the platform to its full extent or at all. So even though I had to gut the profiles, that doesn't mean that they are not total beginners like you if you are just starting your profile, okay? So some of the things I'm gonna talk about in this video are what I did to those profiles. A couple of the other tips I'm gonna give you are what I tell all new people to do. So as a total beginner, if you're consuming content, especially from multiple different creators, you may feel confused right now. So let's clear up that confusion, and we're gonna start at the very beginning, and that is with your keywords. I don't want you to worry about creating boards or creating pins or doing anything else on Pinterest right now. I want you to start thinking about how your audience is going to find your product or your service. How are they going to find you? What are they going to search for in order to find you? So here's the exercise that I take people through anytime I am trying to get them to brainstorm keywords their audience is searching for. I want you to take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. And then at the bottom, I want you to draw a 3rd section. In section 1 on the left, I want you to write down all the things that you do in your business. So I talk about Pinterest marketing, Pinterest automation, graphic design, and ads. Those are the 4 things that I do in my business. Now, out of those 4 things, if there's content you create or freebies or things that you sell, write those down on the right-hand side of the page. At the bottom in that 3rd section, I want you to write down the questions that people ask you about your products or services or content all the time. What are the most common questions that you get? Out of all of this stuff that you write down on the page, I want you to take that then to Pinterest and start searching in the search bar. So for me, if I were just starting my Pinterest profile for my agency, I would search for things like how to create Pinterest pins or how to use Tailwind. Very easy beginner topics, but these are things that my audience is searching for. And then what I'm gonna do is just pay attention to the search results. I'm gonna look at the search results and see what comes up. I'm gonna look at the autofill in the search bar to see what comes up. And then I also may even toggle in that search bar on the left. It says all pins, boards, I think shop is in there now. That drop down menu just to the right of the search bar. I will even toggle over to boards to see if other people are creating boards on this topic. Now, I want you to think about the pillars that you create for the content and the products in your business, and think about those pillars when you're brainstorming those questions. What do I create in my business as far as products and services? What do I create in my business for things that I'm giving away for free or selling? And then what are the most common questions people ask me? You should start to see some pillars define themselves once you have done this work. And that is where we are going to start with creating your boards. So for me, those 4 things, Pinterest marketing, Pinterest ads, graphic design, and automation, those are my 4 major pillars. So think of like an umbrella, and then underneath the umbrella, things can spider web out. Each of those topics will then have other big topics. So like automation will have Tailwind, native pinning, Planoly later, and then underneath each of those big heavy hitters can be additional topics. You can see how you could create a ton of boards. I don't really need you to do that right now. I want you to think about your overall pillars, the overall thing that you do in your business, and try to start with about 10 boards. That is generally enough to get started. Once you get that ball moving or rolling or whatever that terminology is, you will start to come up with other ideas of boards that you can create. So the very initial keyword research is for the purpose of creating your boards. Now, moving right along. Each of those boards is going to need a description. Each Pinterest description on Pinterest is up to 500 characters with one exception, and that's idea pins, but we're not talking about those today. So, static pins, video pins, Pinterest boards all have a description of 500 characters. I want you to think about the board title, the topic of that board. So if the board topic was how to use Tailwind, then I would think about 5 different keywords that people are searching for to find that topic, to find that board. So they're obviously going to be using the keyword how to use Tailwind. They're probably going to be looking for like Tailwind communities or tribes. They're probably going to be using phrasing like Pinterest marketing for beginners, Pinterest strategy for beginners, how to get more blog traffic. So you don't just have to think about when you're using your keywords, the on-topic keywords. You can also think about what I like to call parallel keywords. So they're keywords that are highly relevant, but they are running parallel to the main topic. So how to get free blog traffic runs parallel to Pinterest marketing strategy. So if you are looking for keywords about umbrellas, then maybe you also are looking for rain gear. Keywords around rain gear or how to stay dry in a monsoon. I have no idea. This is what I get when I brainstorm random things, but you get what I'm talking about. Once we have our boards on our profile solidified, then we're gonna move into other areas on your profile that are really relevant. Number 1 being your display name. Now, if you take a look at my Pinterest profile, you will notice that it says Promoted Pins Marketing Agency and Educator. I do that very strategically. There is a main keyword there I want to rank for, being Promoted Pins Marketing and Promoted Pins. But if someone were to search even longer than that, then I will also come up. So I have a long tail keyword that I'm aiming to rank for in my display name alongside my name. So it says Heather, Promoted Pins Marketing Agency and Educator. For you, that could be umbrella salesman, how to stay dry in the rain. Okay, get what I'm talking about? One of my clients is client name, Simple Beauty Tips for Busy Moms. So Simple Beauty Tips for Busy Moms is actually a super long tail keyword, and each of those is a keyword in and of itself. So optimize your display name. Right after that, you actually want to optimize your bio, which your bio is actually a lot long. You have a lot more space to do your bio now than you used to, but you can actually only see 138 characters of it. So the first 138 characters are power packed with keywords you want to rank for. So what I want you to do in your bio is tell us who you are, who you serve, and how you help them, how you serve them. So make sure that is in the first 138 characters, and then if you want to beyond that, go beyond that 138, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, the next thing is obviously going to be claiming your domain. You want to make sure that domain is claimed, but I have videos on that. That is not like a super necessity in this Pinterest for Beginners tutorial. Really, this tutorial or this video is meant to help you get your profile started, and that's it. Like started and optimized correctly. There is a lot of real estate on your Pinterest profile that a lot of people actually ignore or waste, and that's your profile banner. Now, your profile banner on Pinterest is designed for you not to put some pretty picture there of like cupcakes or something, but it really should be a place where you are telling people what you do and how you help them. On my phone here, you can actually see the banner on mobile. Okay, so if you were to go to my Pinterest profile, you will see the same banner. Now, I use that banner, that real estate above my profile image, to do one thing, and that's to drive conversions. I don't want people landing on my Pinterest profile and leaving because they're confused about what I do. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to use that real estate and create a Pinterest profile banner that you can drive traffic to your best converting point, wherever you do your best conversions. So if you want to send people to an opt-in, if you want to send people to a free class, if you want to send people to your membership, whatever that is for you, I want you to create a banner and call them to action. So mine says, get more Pinterest traffic and sales on autopilot with proven strategies. Visit pinprofitacademy.com to start your education. And this has actually brought me sales. People have gone from my idea pins to my profile and then found my academy and signed up organically without me actually telling them in the idea pin to go do that. Your next step, which is technically optional, but I really think it should be required, and that's to create board covers for your profile. When you create your boards, you have this extra little bit of real estate in the board when you go to edit it. Now, if you just have pins on your board, you could assign any one of those pins as your board cover. I don't really like doing that. I actually prefer to create a designated board cover with just the text name of the board, and that's it. Upload that as a Pinterest image, pin it to the board that I need it to go on, and then I give that a title and description, and I link it to my website. Now, this does a couple of things. It makes your profile easier to read. When people hit your profile, they can really quickly see what boards are available, if there's anything there that interests them, and then they can click into that board very quickly because they can identify it. It's easier to read the name on the board title or the board cover than the title sometimes, because the title can cut off. After a certain amount of characters, it'll cut off. So without having to click on each board, they can really quickly see what that board is about and go into the ones that they care about. Something else that you can do with board covers, and a lot of people actually totally skip over this, is when you create those covers and you link them to your website, link them to something highly relevant to the board. So when I created mine in December of 2021 and uploaded them to my profile, I got 3 membership sales from those board covers because I linked them to highly converting content on my website. So like how to use Tailwind, for example. I linked that board cover to my Tailwind blog post that converts very well. From there, people can click on those board covers just like pins and go to wherever you live online. Now, a lot of people completely miss this boat, upload a board cover that has nothing to do, it's not themed at all with the profile, it's not branded properly, or they upload one that's not even linked anywhere. So don't do that. If you're gonna use board covers, go ahead and link them somewhere appropriately on your website. Now, the next step in this Pinterest for Beginners journey is actually to create your very first pin plan. The very first 30 days to 90 days of content, I would suggest starting with 30. And what I would suggest doing is creating 1 pin per day. I created a Pinterest video, I can't remember what it's titled now, but I can link in the description where I talked about a minimum viable Pinterest strategy in 2022. If you've seen that video, you know in that video I talked about creating 1 standard pin per day and 1 to 2 idea pins per week. So following that framework, you would have 1 piece of content per day going out on Pinterest, whether it's a blog post, a freebie, something you sell, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, it doesn't matter. I want you to look at what's coming up in the next 30 to 90 days for your business, what's coming up in the next 30 to 90 days on Pinterest, and kind of mesh those 2 things together and come up with your initial pin plan. Now, a lot of people, when they create their initial pin plan, they actually just start with the content that's on their website because they've never published it before, and that is A-okay. Because the whole piece of this pie, the whole reason we are doing this is to get you into a workflow, to build your Pinterest marketing muscle. That way you don't just pin for a week and quit because you got bored or you forgot what you needed to do. So we're like creating muscle memory here with actually creating a pin plan and creating pins. So it doesn't even need to be super trendy or on trend. We can even just start with the content on your website and we'll just get that out for now, in the beginning. Then as you start to create more of a marketing plan for yourself, you can begin to implement more of that into your Pinterest marketing strategy. Now, I want to talk about something just briefly that I get questions on all the time from brand new beginners on Pinterest. And that is, do I need to be on group boards? Do I need to use a scheduler? How many pins per day do I need to think about pinning? And I don't want you to think about any of that. In fact, I want you to ignore all of it, including a scheduler. Yes, including the scheduler, ignore it. Unless you're already paying for one, I want you to simply use the native Pinterest scheduling tool. You go to create, you choose pin, you upload your image, you put your title, description, URL in there, and then at the very bottom it says publish now or schedule for later. Choose schedule for later and choose a date and time. Schedule 1 pin per day and get through all of your pin plan that you create pins for initially. The reason why I want you to do this is because most people get too caught up in scheduling tools and if it's gonna help them get traffic faster, and it actually just ends up muddying the waters and making it harder for you to publish your content on the platform. So for now, as a total beginner, ignore the scheduling tools. You don't need Tailwind, you don't need Planoly, you don't need anything except for your pins, your keywords, descriptions, URLs, and the good old Pinterest native scheduler. And that's it, okay? So say it with me. I don't need a scheduling tool as a total beginner. Save your money for now. Now, once you are ready to invest in a scheduling tool and you are consistently publishing on Pinterest, I have a whole series of videos on this channel and a playlist for Pinterest approved schedulers. You can go and watch those and decide for yourself at that point. Then you can decide for yourself which scheduling tool is best for you. If you would like a step-by-step Pinterest marketing plan, if you need to be handheld through this process, if you want accountability and you want strategy and you don't want to have to watch any more YouTube videos in order to get the full picture of a Pinterest marketing strategy, come and join us inside of Pin Profit Academy. It's $37 a month. I do not have any aspirations to raise this price anytime soon. $37 a month. You can come and go as you please, and you can get the full overview of a Pinterest marketing strategy today, right now. Just come and join us if that is something you're interested in. However, if you want to continue watching free content on YouTube, you can totally do that. Head right on over here and watch our Pinterest for Beginners playlist. I keep that updated and you can consume as much as you would like right there. And if you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments of the videos and I will get back to you. Until next time, that is it, my friends. Good luck with your Pinterest marketing journey, and I will see you later.